And we are back, folks, with another edition of Behind the Uniform. This is our effort, our focus on finding out more about the players behind the helmet or behind the uniform when they're on the basketball court or baseball field, you name it. More to the athletes than just what they do on game days, and that's what this series is all about. If you missed any episodes, you can always catch us on our YouTube channel, which is the Michigan Insider. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, at SamWeb77. And then, of course, where things all go down over on 24/7 Sports, you can find us over on the MichiganInsider.com. That's where we make it happen over there. But the focus today is not just going to be on Michigan. It's going to be full scale for one of the top prospects in the country, regardless of class, but the number one prospect in his class, David Sanders. You've seen me with him before, but not after he took a visit to Michigan, because he just did that to the first time and decided to drop by the studio. So Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. Glad that you can make it up. And just initial impression before we get deep into Michigan, what was it like, your first impression?
Definitely an amazing time in Michigan yesterday. They laid out the blue carpet, so it was very nice just to be a part of that and to get to meet all the coaches for the first time and just be around the program.
All right, so let's rewind the tape a bit first, because I remember seeing you last spring for the first time. And I've known Jonathan Goodwin forever. We went to Michigan together. And obviously I'm looking at Jadyn, I'm looking at Shipp, looking at Channing, but it's like, man, who is that guy?
Right.
And he was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
Now at that time, man, you looked like you were maybe about 240.
Yeah, I was 240.
240 pounds playing offensive tackle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now you're up to what?
265.
So you were already getting top billing as the number one offensive player or offensive lineman in that class.
Yes, sir.
How was that? Was it overwhelming for you?
Not at all. I think it was just a unique situation I was in. I was very blessed to be in that position. But just having my parents with me to guide me through that process and just take it one step at a time. So they didn't let me get too overwhelmed with everything that was going on. So I really appreciate them for all that they did.
Did it help you, or is it helping you at all to have all those other high-profile guys at PD?
Definitely. I mean, coming in 8th grade, getting those early offers from Michigan was my first offer. So just having that at such a young age, but seeing the older guys, how they handle themselves, conduct themselves in front of the media, in front of people, and when we're out on the field, things like that. So I think just being around top-level guys set me up to be successful where I am right now.
So how did you make the decision for it to be offensive line? Because, watching you play, I think I was at 3 PD games last year. And I swear, man, I thought you were as impressive as a defensive lineman as you were an offensive lineman.
Sir.
So, I mean, how did you choose OL versus DL?
Definitely. I mean, as a young person, I always played basketball, track, football. I was well-rounded, so I'm an athlete all around the place on the field. When I was younger, I played tight end as well, so I got some hands on me as well. So I could play tight end, defensive end, or anywhere on the line that I'm needed. So I feel like anywhere I'm needed to be able to contribute to help my team win the game, that's what I'm willing to do. A lot of coaches look at me as like the next best offensive tackle, but I feel like I can go into anywhere and play defensive end, tight end, whatever they need me to do, or whatever's going to help me see the field as a freshman is what I'm going to do. So.
Yeah, and both of those, I mean, you got to be thinking big picture.
Right.
As you guys, especially guys in your position, you got to be thinking, okay, what is the best move for my professional outlook, right? But offensive tackle, left tackles and edge guys, they both get big time pay. So how's that juggle? I wonder if any schools are talking to you at all about playing defense, or are they 100% all saying offense?
So it's kind of funny when we go on these visits, the offensive-minded coaches want me to play offensive line. So when the defensive line coaches, they're like, don't talk to them. So it's kind of funny that they go back and forth on what I'm going to play when I get there. But anywhere I can help contribute to the team win is what I'm going to do. So, yeah, that's me right now. I don't know where I want to play, but I like both sides of the ball. So
let's talk about your game, Dave, from an offensive line perspective. If I've seen you, but pretend that people that are watching you right now haven't. You're a coach. You're watching David Sanders on the field. Tell me what you see. Break down your game.
First of all, you're going to see a leader on that field. No matter who you are on the field, it's going to be the best 11 on that field. So he's going to lead the group with how he plays. I'm going to set the tone of the game, and that's going to be how we're going to play for that game. So I think my explosiveness, my agility to be able to play all different type of positions like you're explaining right now, my ability to be all across the field, at linebacker, defensive end, tackle, whatever you need me to do, I can do it. very powerful, can create space for my receivers, tunnel screens, things like that, and get those guys out of the way. So I think that's really much my game. A leader on and off the field, very explosive, powerful. Yes, sir.
It's funny that the first thing you said was leader, because I remember being at a practice and watching you guys run sprints, watching you guys, do the endurance drill all the way around the field, and you were always making sure you were the first guy.
Yes, sir.
Out front, if you're running around doing the perimeter of the field, out front if you're doing sprints. It seemed like that was a focus of yours to make sure that you were number one in those drills.
I feel like a leader is someone that can not only lead by example, but lead as, you can say a lot of things. Oh, you're going to do this, you do that. But a leader is someone that does it for you. I'm showing you how to do it, and everybody's going to follow. So if you do what you're supposed to do, it's going to be contagious throughout the team. If you see this guy working hard, and that's claimed to be your brother and somebody you're going to fight for on Friday nights, you're going to work just as hard as he is. So I think setting that standard, not only because you get that label as the 5-star, the number one guy in the country, the number one player on our team, you expect them to be cocky or not really want to work as hard as somebody else because they think they're better. But I feel like as a player, if you put yourself first and you work as hard as anybody else on that field, it's not going to do anything but make everybody else in the field better and want to be just as good as you are.
So where does that come from, man? That's something that you don't just come by naturally. Someone put that in you.
Yeah.
So where did that come from?
That man sitting right there in that chair. My dad has been there since I was born. He tells me a story when I was born. He had the basketball right in my hand. So he's been there since day one. He's been my coach since Little League, football, basketball. He always made sure I was with some of the best trainers, no matter what it was. But that's the guy that works out with me 5 o'clock in the morning. He's coming off of work. He works third shift, so he works at night. It doesn't matter what time. I'm like, Dad, you ready to go work out? He could be no sleep, no nothing. He's going to get up and he's going to work out with me. So that's the guy I'm going to no matter what it is. But he definitely pushed me and put that into me, like, you got to be the number one guy. You can't count on nobody else but yourself. So if you work hard, you're going to get everything you want in this world. So that's where I get it from for sure.
All right, so he's sitting right there. You dunk on Pops yet?
I'll try to. It's actually a funny story because I finally got taller than my dad, and I was like, Dad, as soon as I get taller than you, I promise you, we can run anything. I'm gonna beat you. So we were in California. What was that, last month for OT7, and then we did like the little one-on-one drills. He kind of pancaked me a little bit. So I was like, I guess no matter how much I'm
Dad, you can't be messing with the franchise, man.
Yeah, I guess no matter how much I'm in the weight room or how much I work out, it's just like you can't beat your dad.
Hey, but see, I get it, because at the end of the day, Dad still has to send a message. Like, hey, man.
Exactly.
He
turned it up
a
little bit.
You're 5-star, but you still Lil Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But yeah.
So, no, man, it's funny to hear the guys call you Lil Dave. Now I get it. Like, I didn't get it before.
Yeah, you see him there. I'm Lil Dave.
I didn't get it before, but I get it now. I get why they call you Lil Dave. So you get on a team full of stars, man, and you come in with that mentality that I'm going to be a leader. How easy was it for those guys? I'm talking about the older guys. To have a young guy like yourself come in and lead. Did they kind of empower you to do that, or did you have to come in and be like, guys, this is where I am and this is where I'm going to be? How did it go?
I think having that leadership, knowing where you want to go in life. I knew I wanted to go to a top-level college. Walking in as a freshman, I wanted to be able to compete for the number one player in the country, not only just the stars, but just have that notoriety within my team and have the respect of my teammates. So I know walking in as a freshman, trying to start on the varsity high school level, that was my first accomplishment as it is. You don't usually see too many freshmen on the varsity field to begin with. So making it known that I want to be the leader of this team and you guys can count on me to do anything. I think that was just my mindset going in, not worried about offers, not worried about stars, just worried about my personal progression and things I can do to make myself better.
Okay, so let's talk about the most memorable, the most impactful piece of advice that Mom has given you about the recruiting process. I'm sure you get schooled many lessons by your parents, but I want to hear what she's told you about this recruiting process so far.
Oh yeah, well my mom, that's my girl right there. That's my rock for sure. I remember I broke my leg my freshman year, second game of the season. I was devastated. I thought I had worked so hard over the summer to be able to start on varsity, make the freshman All-American list. I was on this high and I got hurt, and I'm like, Mom, all this hard work I've done it's just gonna come to an end. I'm never gonna be able to play football again. I'm never gonna be the same. And she was like, honey, you just gotta take it one day at a time. And I think that really stuck with me because one day I was really down in myself. I'm like, Mom, I'm never gonna be able to do it again. I'm not gonna be able to be the same person I was before. And she's like, just take it one step at a time. time. Don't worry about what's ahead of you. Don't worry about what happened before. All you can do is stand in where you're at right now. She always tells me to be where your feet are planted, and that's in high school going into my junior year. I mean, I'm not ready to make a decision on my college choice yet, so focusing on my teammates, focusing on my friends, my family. My little sisters, they have 15 months left with me until I'm off on somebody else's college campus. So really just spending time with them and making sure they know that they're loved and they're wanted in my life as well. So just is hearing that from her, and yeah, that's pretty much the biggest thing I took from that, because getting onto it now, August 1st is the new date where the colleges can reach out. I think taking it one step at a time, letting these college coaches know that school is my #1 priority. If I get to talk to you, I get to talk to you, but it's not going to be I'm calling you in the middle of school, you know. So I think just setting those boundaries and taking it one step at a time, that's the biggest thing, because you can't go tomorrow before you finish the day. So yes, sir.
Got to get a second phone, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. We were
phone.
setting up for September 1st, and then I went to Georgia, and they're like, oh yeah, the new date is August 1st. I'm like, Mom, August 1st. We were prepared. We thought we had another month, but I guess it's Tuesday, so we got to get prepared for
phone.
that. Yeah,
#1 player in the country. Got to get another.
Yes, sir.
So, as you guys have gone on a bunch of visits, we're going to talk about these schools. You start to get an idea of what schools have to offer and what you want to see. So when you go on a visit now, like, what are you looking for? What are you looking to take out of these visits?
Definitely. I mean, when I was younger, it was all about the photo shoots and just being on the college camp. I was just happy to be there. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on, what I had to offer for certain colleges. And my dad was like, one day you're going to be at the top of that list and you're going to be able to tell them what you want out of these schools. So I think now that I'm going into my junior year, I've seen most of the colleges I'm looking at pretty heavy now, ending it with Michigan. I mean, it's just going there looking for that family atmosphere. I come from a 2-parent home, 3 younger sisters. My grandparents are heavily involved in my life as well. So I come from a very strong-willed family. So I definitely don't want to go to a place where I don't feel like they're going to treat me as such. So just looking for that, looking for things that I want to major in. Do they even have that type of thing that I can study in college, certain things like that. But obviously just getting to these like schools, meeting the coaches for the first time, getting to talk to like the advisors, the counselors, things like that, and see do these people even like fit on what type of person I am. Am I going to have fun while I'm there? Things like that. So it's been very good throughout the spring and summer. Definitely got a feel for different schools, like what they have to offer that others don't. Because I feel like everywhere you go, especially at the level we're at, I mean, everybody's going to have a nice weight room. Everybody's going to have film. Everybody's going to have an indoor facility, outdoor facility. So I say once you really look past that and really get to see the people for who they are, that's where you really can find out what schools are serious and what schools aren't.
Yeah, you said every school you go to is going to have nice facilities.
Right.
Every place you go, they're going to be putting their best foot forward.
Exactly.
So how as, especially as the #1 player in the country, I mean, everyone is going to know who you are when you walk in the door. So how do you separate what's real from what's fake?
Right.
Have you kind of gotten to?
I think so. I think I have a little bit because, you know, ever since you got to this status, a lot of people are just trying to leech on to you, kind of, oh, now we're best friends, now that I'm here. But, you know, my mom is very good at that, letting me know, because I feel like I'm such a kind-hearted person. I find the good in everybody. So I'm like, he might be good, but my mom was like, trust me, you just trust me. And I trust her on her judgment. She's never wrong. She hasn't been wrong for the 17 years I've been on this earth. So I feel like I can trust her with all my heart. But definitely when you go to schools 2 or 3 times, it's hard for a person to keep up a certain act as they did the first time. I mean, we go the first time, you got the 5-star on campus, you know, you're trying to put everything out, but you've been 2, 3 times, now you're trying to see like, oh, this is who they are. And also when you hang out with the players, talk to the players, build those relationships with the current players, I mean, they don't sugarcoat anything. They're not getting paid to recruit you to come to the school. So, I mean, they're going to let you have it. Whatever you want to hear, they're going to tell you what it is. So I feel like having those genuine relationships with current players that are on the team is another good thing as well.
Got you.
For
so
sure.
You also are a guy of profile from a state where you can do NIL. So how have you guys incorporated that in your process of evaluation? I mean, how do you approach that with coaches? Like, how are you handling that part of recruiting? Yeah,
I think my parents normally handle most of the business side of everything because they just want me to be a high school student and enjoy my process. And I feel like they don't want me to make a decision in my college choice off of NIL base. Just because the school is offering this certain amount of money, that's not the reason why I'm going to go. So I think when we first meet a school for coming to Michigan for the first time, I don't think we're really going to talk much about that as far as getting to know you as a person because anybody can sell you something, but if you're not feel loved love, that money's not going to mean anything after a couple weeks. Once they give it to you, then it's like, oh, now you're stuck with us forever. But if you don't feel that love, you're not going to play for a coach. You're not going to run through a brick wall for Coach Harbaugh if you don't feel like he loves you. But if I go somewhere else and they're doing certain things, I might do that. So I feel like making that college decision is going to be based off where I feel most comfortable at, and then the NIL will come in after that. Because I don't feel like anybody would make a decision based off how much money you're going to get, because that's not really what you're here for. If you make it to the next level in the NFL, that little money they gave you for NIL is not going to be anything compared to those contracts you're getting in the NFL. So I think the relationships you build and just those genuine relationships that you build from college programs is the biggest thing.
Yeah, keep the main thing the main thing.
Exactly.
I hear you on that. At the same time, I mean, by keeping the main thing, one of the things you have to do is when you start making money, you got to start thinking about what to do with it.
Right.
Whether that's putting it aside for the future, paying taxes, right? All the things that mom and dad have to do and can guide you through, but you got to start to get to know. So I know that's something that Jadyn was doing. He's been working with Morgan Stanley for a while now, kind of as he gets more NIL deals. And I know you had a chance to meet with the Morgan Stanley guys as well. And I'm curious, what were your takeaways from your interaction with them?
Definitely. I think those guys are very knowledgeable. I mean, they've been working in the business for 25 plus years, both of them. So it was just a great opportunity to sit down and talk to them, not mainly about the business side of everything, but what they can do as a company for me and my family to best help us for our future. Because I feel like certain things you can't do by yourself. Everything you might think you know it all, but there's always somebody else that can help you and come along in this journey to be able to help my family make the best decisions for me. So it was a great meeting with them for the first time. And I just look forward to building that relationship with them, asking questions, things that I'm curious of. Maybe my parents don't know, and I definitely don't know because I've never dealt with any of this stuff. So if they don't know,
you ever thought about? But you ever had to make a budget before, budget your money, that kind of thing?
I mean, I get my little allowance, maybe some $20. That's about it. I never dealt with any type of things like that.
You budgeted $20.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it, but
Yes,
hey,
sir.
but that's the kind of grown man decision. Even
Exactly.
as a 17-year-old, you got to start thinking about, even
Right.
if you aren't making it right now. And so how much of, as you look at Jadyn, Shipp, Channing, how much of their experience on and off the field, whether it's playing, training, or NIL, and how they deal with that, how much are you drawing from them and their experience?
Right. I think since it's so new for me, it's fresh for me, honestly, getting into the serious recruitment now, going into my junior year. They've kind of crossed this bridge. So thus far, they've just kind of let me do my thing. Ever since even Jadyn committed to Michigan, he's not hounding me every day about Michigan. It's like, if you get up there, you get up there, man. It's a great place. I mean, he's just looking out for me, But I feel like as I continue to go through this process, asking them questions about how they dealt with certain things, because August 1st hits, that's a whole different ball game than I've ever been a part of, because coaches are able to call me instead of me having to reach out to them. So it's going to be a lot of different things that maybe I experienced that they've already been through. So having somebody like that that's already been on that level is going to be very helpful for me.
Gotcha. So let's talk about your spring visits, and we'll do these in like rapid fire, because I'm sure you've talked about them a lot already, and there's so many of them. I got to bring up the list.
Right.
First of all, have you thanked your mom and dad for taking you all across the country?
Yeah, every day. I mean,
I'm like, man, you're not taking official visits yet.
Oh yeah, not yet. It's a sacrifice.
You've been coast to coast.
Yes, sir.
So you got that perspective, like, man, not every kid is able to do
not
this?
every kid. I tell you, I have a great group of parents, and my support system is my parents, my sisters, and my grandparents.
Okay.
I mean, they do anything they can do to support me, so I'm forever thankful for that.
All right, so let's reflect on these in a little bit quicker order than the more recent visits.
Okay.
So Florida State, what were your takeaways from that visit?
Yeah, definitely Florida State. Loved the program, loved the coaches. Coach Atkins was a great guy, great offensive line, great-minded person. He's going to be the offensive coordinator for them this year. So, again, down that program for the first time was just a great experience, meeting the coaching staff and everything like that, and it seemed like a great place.
All right, Tennessee.
That was my second time going up to Tennessee. Love Coach Heupel and his staff. Got to meet the whole offensive line group this year with like KP and everybody and Coach E. That's a good group of guys up there at Tennessee, and just can't wait to be back there for sure.
Okay, so Ohio State, you got a chance to get to see the Buckeyes before
Yeah.
you got a chance to see Michigan.
Yeah.
So what was it like down in Columbus?
Yeah, it was a different experience than here, actually, because it's just kind of funny to see the battle between Michigan and Ohio State. Like, the rivalry is real. I mean, I didn't know it was that deep until, I see the book of what's great about Ohio State and Michigan, and it's nothing in the book. That was funny. And then when you're at Ohio State, they call you guys the team up north. And it's like, y'all don't even have a name. It's like, it's not even Michigan. It's the team up north. So to see that rivalry between you guys is kind of funny. But Ohio State is a great place, great people there as well, for sure.
All right, so USC.
Yeah, USC and California, that's a whole different ball game. I mean, the vibe, the people there are just relaxed. There's a whole different level of things that on the West Coast than it is on the East Coast. Two different type of people. So, I mean, it was a great experience to even see it for one, and just to be a part of it was great.
All right, and then UNC, I imagine, you've been there a lot,
I've
right?
been there a ton of times, yeah. UNC is like the home school for me. Being in Charlotte, UNC is like 2 hours away. So that's a school I've been to multiple times. Love the campus, love the people. Coach Mac Brown, that's my guy, so yeah.
Okay. How big a deal is it that your man Shipp is a Tar Heel now?
Yeah.
Is that a big deal for them?
Yeah, that's a big deal because, I mean, just like Michigan, they have an easier recruiting job than anybody in the world with the teammate, right, that they're trying to get that's committed to their school. So these guys are about to go off. So they see me every day in the locker room, and that's all we can talk about is UNC or Michigan. So I think they have a pretty easy job, but I'm happy for those guys, and they're going to let me make my decision based off what I like. I don't think either one of them are not the guys that's going to push me, though. We coming to UNC with me just because I'm going. So wherever I go, they're going to be supportive of my decision, but I'm happy for those guys for sure.
So tell me if I got this right. I've only been around you guys so much, but my impression is that you're close to all of them.
Right.
But it feels like Shipp was a little more the big brother. Am I off base about that?
Off base, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
He's more of the outspoken one than all of us.
Okay.
Like he's pretty much out there than all of us. But it's kind of funny because he thinks he can beat me in everything, but he can't do it.
Okay. All right. So Dave, let's go ahead and get into these visits that you just took.
Right.
Fresh in your mind and the impressions that they made on you. Want to get a little bit deeper into these. Starting off first with Bama. Bama's Bama, right? So what were your impressions of the program down there in Tuscaloosa?
Definitely. I mean, this is my third time down to Alabama. Great experience every time I went. First time was for camp, and then the other 2 times were just for visits. But just being around that program, they have a different style of things that they do down there in Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's Alabama, like you said. They have 18 national championships. Not many programs. Nobody can say that they have 18 national championships. So it's just a different level of, I don't know, a mindset down there is a little bit different. So when you come to Alabama, you know what you're going to get. They're very blunt on what you're going to get when you get to Alabama. I mean, it's pretty much football and whatever comes after that. But it's a great program down there, great people, and I just love the staff and being around everybody for sure.
What are your impressions of Nick Saban?
Nick Saban, I got him to laugh for the first time ever. So I was
On the third visit?
On the third visit. I mean, I've never seen him crack a smile in my life. So, and not even on interviews or anything like that. So me and my family were in his office, and we're I think my dad does a good job with getting to researching about these coaches and stuff. So we had some different questions. They weren't mainly about football. It was just about life in general. So I think it really took him outside of his box because he's used to people asking about football and everything. But we asked him about his wife and things he likes to do outside of football. So I think that really created a little bit of personality for him, which was pretty cool to be able to see that side of him.
What would you say you like the most about the Crimson Tide at this point?
Definitely just the, I would say the genuine relationships they have and how blunt they are on what you're going to get. They're not trying to sell you something they're not going to give you when you get there. I mean, they're saying you're going to work hard and it's going to be what it's going to be. So I feel like a lot of schools you go to might want to sell you a fake dream, but Alabama doesn't do that at all. They're just very straightforward on what you're going to get and what you're not going to get. So that's one thing I respect and like about Alabama a lot.
Gotcha. So the rivalry between Bama and Georgia is real, especially now that Georgia's winning national championships, right? So what was it like for you down in Athens?
Yeah, Athens is a totally different experience than in Tuscaloosa. I mean, they're more of the flashy type at Georgia and Athens. You know, they got all the nice uniforms, the nice facilities. So they're right on Alabama's tail pretty much. And then it's a nice rivalry because I have some friends that are committed to Alabama and some friends that are committed to Georgia. So they're all like, come here. So it's kind of cool. But I love Coach Searles. I've known him since he was at UNC, the offensive line coach at UNC. So me and him have a unique relationship with each other. Coach Smart is more of a relatable coach. He's a little bit younger than Saban, but he's a good guy as well. I think we have a great relationship. He actually got to because my little sister has her own business. And the first time we went, she told him about it, and she told him she would bring him back some stuff. So she brung it, and he took a picture with her. So I think having those relationships, not only with me, but with my family, is something I really look into when I look into the school, because everybody remember her and her little business that she had going on. I mean, the whole coaching staff was very hyped about that. So that stood out to me, that they remembered. He remembers all my family members' names by heart. He doesn't need a paper or anything.
Okay.
No name tag. So it was just certain things like that stuck out to me a little bit different than I've been at other schools. So I love Georgia, love what they got going on with their program.
So you just told me that what stuck out to you. Is that what you like? What do you like the most about Georgia right now?
So definitely, I mean, they're hot with all the national championships. They have a good offensive line group, a good offensive line coach. I mean, they came second in the Joe Moore Award twice in a row. And I think they have a chip on their shoulder to win it this year. So I definitely like everything about Georgia and just what they have built in for the future.
Mm-hmm. And how many times have you been to UGA?
3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
3 times to Bama, 3 times to Georgia, and so many times to UNC, right?
Yep.
Your first time visiting Michigan. So
Yep.
you gave me your first impressions.
Yes, sir.
Take me inside that visit from the time that you arrived to the time that you left, everything you did.
Definitely. So first of all, I had to get a Michigan shirt because I didn't have one. I had on like a little white T-shirt, but I had to get me a Michigan shirt just to support the school. But we got in, we checked in, got to meet with Coach Harbaugh first. Oh, actually, I did a little weight room presentation. I forget it, the strength and conditioning.
Coach Herb.
Coach Herb. I mean, we went very in detail with what they do as a program and what we're going to see when we come here. And he actually took us through a couple drills that they do on like the little slack board, balance things, squat things that you can take back to your own high school and teach the other people. So he was very detailed with what he had to talk about, which was very impressive because nowhere have I been have they let us be in the strength and conditioning program, meet everybody, and actually like contribute to what they're doing. So that was a little bit different and very unique about Michigan that I liked. He was very knowledgeable, very detail-oriented type of coach. He wasn't a coach that's going to throw 600 pounds on your back and make you squat it. I mean, he wants to make sure you're doing everything right before we do that and make sure the development is right to prevent injury. So that's one thing I liked about him and just what he had going on with his program. Got to meet with Coach Harbaugh. I think we were supposed to have a 30-minute meeting with him. We were in there for an hour and a half. I mean, it went beyond football, which is very impressive because a lot of coaches, you know, they're on that time crunch. It's time to get the next guy in, certain things like that. But he really took his time with me and my family to be able to talk more about football, things I like to do outside of football, and things like that. So it was very unique with him. He was a great coach, great guy, wonderful personality, and someone I definitely see myself being around 24/7, not just somebody that's my coach, and I don't really like him that much. And then Coach Moore, we've had a relationship for a while now. He's been up to school countless times. I mean, he came up when he didn't even want to come up. And I mean, it's just been great to see him and get a familiar face with him, but getting to see him in person in his own element, because he's been to my school. He's seen me work out. He's seen me do these, but being able to be at Michigan with him, he took me to the office. We went through things that they do in their offense, pretty much fits things that exactly what we do at Providence Day. So I got to give him my take on stuff that I like to do, things I don't like to do, and like my playing style fits perfectly for things that they do at Michigan. So it was a great meeting with him and everything we did. After that, we kind of did like a little campus tour, got to see the 110,000 fan stadium. Actually, I was shocked because it doesn't look big from the outside, but I didn't know it goes underneath. So that was a shocker, got to walk on the field. I mean, that was a great experience. Then we ate some food and really took the photo shoot. That was nice, but I think really it was not even the photo shoot that was the key part. It was those relationships and those conversations that I had with the whole staff. I don't think there was one person there that didn't come say hi and come introduce themselves. So it was just a great opportunity to be there and be around.
So the vibe, because this is your first time that you really got a chance to be face-to-face with Coach Moore.
Right.
So now that you got a chance to really see him and talk to him in person, because this is like your first time doing that compared to UGA's O-line coach, Bama's O-line coach.
Definitely.
What about the vibe with Coach Moore so far?
I mean, ever since I met him, he's been this guy, this cool, collective guy, not too amped up. Like some coaches just come in and they're screaming and ooh, but he was very calm, just trying to get to know me as a person more than a football player, which is very impressive. I mean, he's a good guy, great coach. Obviously, won 2 Joe Moore Awards in his first 2 years at Michigan. So that's something that sticks out to me. And then something else he mentioned in the the meeting is like he lets his guys have fun, express themselves, express their emotions. It's not just football, football, football. It's like we're gonna have fun when we do it. We're gonna dance out there. We're gonna laugh and things like that. So he's a great guy, great coach, and I get a great vibe from him. Somebody I can definitely see myself working with and being around for a long time.
So what would you say you like the most, just like I asked you about the other schools, what do you like the most about Michigan so far?
I think the most about Michigan is just the authentic people at the program. There's not too many people I've met at Michigan that are like, you feel like they're trying to be shady or they're trying to be like, they're just trying to recruit. It seems like everybody's there for a reason. It doesn't seem like they're going to recruit somebody that they don't really want. If they're recruiting you, they really want you. And I really got that from all the coaches that I've met. I mean, they're recruiting a certain type of player to come in their locker room and be a positive impact, not somebody that's going to come in and tarnish the name of Michigan. So if they're recruiting me, they're going to get a good guy and that's going to come in the locker room and help out a lot. So for sure.
Gotcha. So how big is that? Did you know the Joe Moore Award? Because admittedly, I didn't know what the Joe Moore Award was before Michigan won it. So I'm curious.
I would be honest with you. Before I started playing offensive line and before I knew Michigan, I didn't know what it was either. I didn't know that was a thing, that lineman. I thought the Heisman was the only one I really knew. So I was like, what's the Joe Moore Award? I don't know what that is. Because everyone I talked to Michigan.
Lombardi Trophy, but the thing for the entire offensive line until Michigan won it.
Yeah, the first time, coach was like, yeah, we won 2 Joe Moore Awards. I'm like, oh, that's great, coach. I didn't even know what that was. So, but once I actually did my research on what it was, I mean, that really stuck out. Like, the best offensive line in the country. I mean, that's above Alabama, Georgia, those type of programs. So just to have that in his first 2 years, win it back to back, I mean, that speaks volumes in himself. Because I feel like he's a coach that can relate to his players. So they'd seem like we were actually, when we were doing the campus tour, one of the players were in there going through plays, and it just seemed like that connection. It wasn't because he knew we were walking in there. I mean, he had his headphones on and he was drawing. He didn't even know we were standing there for about 5 minutes before he even realized we were in there. And it would even turn his face just lit up to see Coach Moore. So a lot of places you go is not that connection between coach and player. So when you see that, it's like that's real. Like when you go here, he's saying whatever he's telling me, that's what he's telling his guys. It's not just a recruiting spill and they're just trying to get you there. Like that's real. He loves his players and he loves what he's got going on at Michigan.
Did you get a chance to talk to them about, or did they talk to you about, hey, we got to have you back? Did they try to set up another visit? I mean, what did they say about that?
So definitely, I mean, Michigan, it's been like on and off thing because they've been trying to get me up here for so long. I think ever since they've been trying to recruit Jadyn, they've been trying to get me, but it's always like something happens where I can't get up here. So this is my first time coming. It's been a great experience. And all they were talking about, we got to get you back up, because we got to show you so much more. So I can't wait to be back. I think it's going to be for a game this year. So that's my plan, to come back for a game.
Did you talk about a specific game?
The Ohio State game.
The Ohio State
Yes, sir.
game. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what
Everybody wants to go to that game.
That's what everybody wants to go to,
Yep.
right? So, look, you got a long way to go in your recruiting process, right? But now that you've been all these places, some places multiple times, you start to be able to apply some scrutiny, some closer scrutiny to them. What do you think is going to come down to in the final analysis when you get ready to make your decision? What do you think are going to be the biggest factors?
The biggest factors in me is where I feel most comfortable first. I don't want to go somewhere where it's kind of on edge. I'm just going here because their football is good. Like I want to go to a well-rounded school that has great academics as well, because I want to go somewhere and get a meaningful degree, not just play football and come out with nothing. Like if I'm going to go there, I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity they give me off the field, with internships, academics, anything. So somewhere that has a well-rounded program, not just football. That's first thing. Somewhere my family feels comfortable sending me, because I can't go nowhere and they don't feel comfortable even sending me there. I might like it, but if they don't like it, I don't like it. So I definitely, those are the two biggest things for me. Yeah, yes, sir.
So distance from home not going to play a factor at all?
Maybe a little bit, but I feel like if I have a school like Michigan that's offering so much and that's giving me what I want in a program, it doesn't matter to me where I am on the map. I mean, I can go to USC and be perfectly fine, but I feel like it's all about where I'm comfortable at. So if I don't feel comfortable in Michigan, why would I go 12 hours at home and I don't even feel like I'm going to have fun here? So if Michigan's going to be the place, that would be the place for me, and I'll be able to see my mom when I come back and everything like that. But I feel like they're supportive on whatever I choose. They just want me to be happy.
So you're a Southern boy. You ever seen snow?
So actually, my parents were born in New York. And
I heard Buffalo, right? I see your dad with a Bill shirt on.
I was born in Buffalo, New York as well, but I moved when I was very young. So I've never seen snow, but I guess it's in my blood somehow. So I might get back used to it.
Yeah, because I'm asking. I mean, it's not like typically you don't see snow during the season.
Our snow is not snow down in North Carolina. It's ice, and they shut down everything if we got about this much on the ground.
But you feel like you can handle it.
I feel like I can handle it. Yeah. I mean, that's big boy weather up there in Michigan. It's snowing. It's cold.
I mean, what if you get drafted by the Bills?
Exactly. So you got to get used to it. Yeah, a great experience. Well, I've heard snow games are the best type of weather you can play in. So I gotta experience it, I guess.
Yeah, man. Josh Allen might be trying to get you up that way.
Yeah, he'll be Tom Brady by the time I get there.
Right. So, timeline. Have you thought about how deep into this process you want to go? Are you going to be one of those guys that waits until, the early signing period of your senior year? I mean, what do you think?
Definitely, because I want to be an early enrollee. So wherever I'm going to go, I want to make that decision relatively early because I want to build that relationship with the program, with the guys that are already in the locker room. I'm coming. I want to be a part of that program as much as possible before I actually get there, just to make sure that's the fit for me. As of a timeline, I don't have one right now. The spring and summer was very crucial for me and my family because we wanted to really get to every school we could possibly go to that I'm really taking serious and see what they have to offer, and then we'll take it from there. So I feel like towards the end of the year, I have a better idea of things I want to do and things like a top 10 or a top 12, things like that. And then hopefully spring, summer, I'll be ready to commit somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is there any chance, given what you see with all your teammates, they all got it done before their senior seasons. Is there any chance you think you would take yours into your senior season?
I don't think I'll take it into the senior season. I think I want to have it well off and set in stone going into my senior year because I just want to have fun my senior year, enjoy my last summer workouts, my last team camp, everything like that. Just enjoy it, and then when it's time to leave in December, I'm gonna be gone. So I hope if I'm not set in stone by spring and summer, then I won't make that decision. But I feel like by that time I'll have a better understanding of everything.
So of what's left of the summer, I mean, what's left for you? Is it just camp? I mean, what's up?
So all my visits are done for the summer. We wanted to end it out with a bang with Michigan, so we're done with visits. Now we're just getting locked in for the season. Back at practice tomorrow, and we have scrimmages next week, and then 2 weeks from now is game week. So we're getting ready for that, and we're hoping to win 3 state championships in a row.
Yeah, so let's talk about the season, man, because, I mean, Charlotte Christian, they have all their guys back. They would say that the reason why things happened in the playoffs the way they did was because, they were missing players due to injury. When they had all their guys, they won in the regular season.
Right.
So they ready. Raven Gap, they're good. I mean, kind of give me the outlook on the season for PD.
Yeah, I mean, every year you're going to have ups and downs. Our team is built off of our 7 core values as a team. I mean, we bought in this summer. I mean, everybody, we knew we were losing a lot of guys due to that 2023 class. I think we had 15, 16 guys that really contributed into our program last year. Our whole offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, I know we had to revamp those positions. So I feel like we went into the summer with the mindset of we're going to be just as good, if not better than we were last year based on the leaders we have in this room. Because I feel like although we don't have as big of a team as we did last year, the leaders on this team are better than any leaders we've ever had because of Jadyn, Channing, me, Jordan. I mean, those guys, Brody, we're all going these top-level Division I schools, and we have a purpose going into their senior year, going into my junior year. So we have a mindset as we're not going to lose a game this year. So we're going into the season like that. They don't want to lose in their senior year, and I want to help them fulfill that dream. So we're working very hard day in, day out. I see these guys, they're working out after school, after practice, getting stuff in. So I feel like our team is built on success, and we're not going to settle for anything less. I mean, it's going to be a lot of win on the last play of the game. Coach Greer preaches we're going to win on the last play of the game, no matter how hard the game is, no matter what we face adversity-wise throughout the game. I mean, we're going to win on the last play of the game. So I think our team is built for that, and we're looking for a good season this year.
All right, so let's finish off this way. So you mentioned your teammates. Where's Brody going?
NC State.
NC State. So I want to close out with you talking about each of those guys. Tell me about them as a player, as your guy, and why you might want to play with them. You're going to do your own thing, but why you might want to play with them in the next level, starting with Brody.
Right. So start with Brody. That's the dude right there. He's he plays safety, receiver, running back, whatever we ask for him, he's going to go out there and do. A significant person. He's just a great guy to be around. But when it's time to strap on that helmet, is a whole different beast out there on that field, and that's somebody you can go for battle with on Friday or Saturday night, Saturday evening. So I mean, Brody's a great guy, great person, and just someone you look up to and someone that you want to be a part of. Channing, we call him the silent assassin. He don't really say too much. He's just like his dad. I mean, Coach Goody, one of the greatest coaches I've had, but he doesn't really say too much because he's just real low key. And Channing's the same way. I mean, he would go out there and make a one-handed 60-yard bomb, running back to the ref and not say a word. It's like, is Channing even out here? But he's making all these big plays. So you really love Channing for that. He doesn't say too much. He doesn't really get into anything, but he's a great guy, great player, obviously. And he's a good friend, so it's somebody I would definitely want to play with at the next level.
Shipp
He's the one that's real outgoing out of all of us. You're going to hear him if you don't hear nobody. So even if he's having a bad game, you're going to hear Shipp. So he's just that guy, that real standout guy, a good person. You ever need anything, you can call Shipp. So he's a great player going to UNC, and they got a good one.
Jadyn, he said you're his bodyguard.
Yeah, that's my guy, Jadyn. Keep him protected, keep him off the ground. Jadyn is like a real low-key type of guy as well. I mean, he's very business-oriented. He keeps the main thing. He doesn't really do too much, doesn't say too much. But when it's time to ball, he's gonna come out and ball. He's really like what do I say? He's like a businessman, I would say, because he conducts himself in a way that not many teenagers do. And it's just like, that's someone you can really look up to, especially he's one of the ones I can relate to the most because he's been the #1 player. He's been in my situation of having everybody against you. So being able to talk to him is way different than everybody else because he's the one that has basically did what I did before I did it. So having him as like an older guy is really impressive. Seeing how he's handled everything as far as media, being able to play on Friday nights, being in front of the cameras, that's something I really look up to. And he's just a great guy and a great guy that you want to keep protected. I mean, Jadyn don't make you feel bad about anything. So why would I let you get hit? Like, nah, I ain't gonna let nobody touch Jadyn. So that's my guy too.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss. You mentioned Coach Goody. What is it like to play for Coach Goody? Mm-hmm. What kind of impact has he had on you to have an NFL guy, Super Bowl winner, as a coach?
Yeah, so definitely when I walked into high school, I told Coach Goody I wanted to put tight end and defensive end, but he was stamped on me playing tackle. I'm like, well, you're going to have to drag me over there with the lineman because I'm not going willingly. So I think my dad, me, and Coach Goody, we talked, and they're like, if he plays off his line, he's going to be one of the best. I mean, my feet were good just because I was so used to moving around, playing basketball. I feel like left tackle is equivalent to playing defense in basketball. I mean, you're just sliding and protecting. I mean, so it was very like similar to something I've already done in my life. So it was an easy transition, changing that mindset to being a lineman. But having him as a coach is like having a mentor. I mean, he's a guy that doesn't say too much. He's not really out there. He's not doing it for the show. He's just out there to help you as a young man and as an athlete. Anytime I need a workout, anytime I need anything outside of football, I mean, he's there. I'll text him, Coach, trying to work out after practice or work out after school, especially during the off season. I mean, Coach Goody could be doing a million other things would not be working out with me, but he does it every single time. And truly, it's just a blessing to have him in my corner and in my circle for sure.
Well, Dave, it's been a real pleasure, man.
Yes,
I can't wait to see what the past was great.
Right.
So, makes the future seem
yes, sir.
even brighter. I can't wait to see what you individually have in store and what you guys collectively have in store. Appreciate you dropping by.
I appreciate you and I appreciate the time.
All right, folks,
yes,
that's going to do it for another edition of Behind the Uniform. If you missed any episodes, you can always catch it on our YouTube page. That's the Michigan Insider. Of course, where it all goes down is our website over on 24/7 Sports, themichiganinsider.com. Until next time, though, folks, we appreciate your time. Stay tuned for the next edition of Behind the Uniform. We have a one-on-one with Brady McGregor. We have a one-on-one with Roman Wilson. And we're working hard on getting the #1 quarterback in the country in the 25 class, Bryce Underwood. Working on getting Bryce here in studio. We'll see if we get it done. Until then, folks, thanks for watching another episode of Behind the Uniform.